Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Anne Richardson. I'm a realtor here in St. Petersburg with DHM Real Estate Group. I'm also known as the Busy Brit. Today I'm going to be discussing for you the as-is purchase contract agreement that is used here in St. Petersburg for the purchase of residential property. So let's get started. Page 1, here we come. The as-is 12-page contract is written by attorneys by the Florida Association of Realtors and is used by realtors to facilitate real estate transactions. It's as-is, meaning that the seller has decided that they're selling their home as is. What you see is what you get. The day that you write that contract and it gets executed, as they call it here in Florida, is what you get. So any home inspections that you have are generally for your information only. This can be a little bit scary, but the contract is here to protect all parties. There's a due diligence period of anywhere from 7 to 15 to 21 days, depending on what you negotiate with the seller. And during that due diligence period, you can have your home inspection. And if there's anything at all that you don't like, you can cancel the contract without recourse and get your escrow refunded. You don't have to give a reason. You just sign a piece of paper and send it over and saying that you're canceling the agreement. During that due diligence period, however, you'll want to, as quickly as possible, have a home inspection. So when you first go under contract on a property here in St. Petersburg, the first thing that you have to do is deliver your escrow. This escrow is due generally between 3 and 5 days, and these are calendar days, not business days. If the final day that it is due falls on a weekend, then it defaults to the next business day by 5 p.m. As-is contracts have a lot of blank areas in them, but they come with defaults. For example, the escrow is a blank area, but it defaults to 3 days if nothing is written in there. The contingency for financing is a blank area, but it defaults to 30 days if nothing is written inside there. A couple of blanks that do require dates are the response time from the seller from your offer and also the closing date. They don't have defaults. Another part of the as-is contract is that here in Pinellas County, Tampa Bay area, the seller generally pays for title insurance for the buyer. And this is a default in the contract. You can choose your own title company, but when you do that, you are responsible for paying your own title insurance. The title company is a neutral party, kind of like Switzerland. They don't have a relationship with either seller or buyer, so they're a neutral party. Some other items in the contract address if there's a lease in place. You are able to get all of the lease documents, and if there's anything in the lease documents that you don't like, then this will enable you to cancel the contract without recourse. Condominium documents, they have to be delivered to you, and within 3 days of receipt of those documents, if there's anything in the condo documents that you don't think you can live with, you can cancel the contract then also. But after all of these contingencies have been met, your due diligence, your escrow, your financing, you are then on the hook to buy this house. Sometimes, if the seller hasn't lived in the property very long and has not made any changes to the property since they purchased it, you sometimes are able to take their survey and use it for yourself. They just sign it over to you. But if they've made any changes, or if the survey is really old, like 20 years or something, you're going to have to get your own. And that is something that is organized by by the title company. They can order the survey for you. Generally, we don't ask for them to do that until after the home. Generally, when you go under contract in Pinellas or anywhere really, the first 7 to 10 days are very high action while you're gathering all your documents for the lender, while you're working closely with your realtor to get all of your inspections taken care of, to get everything over to the title company. And then there comes a little bit of a lull where you don't really speak to anybody, and we're waiting for the appraisal to come back, we're waiting for financing to get done, and so there's a kind of a little bit of a quiet time, if you like, before you go to closing. And then the last 7 days or so, it's a bit of a rush, because we're trying to get utilities changed over. We want to do our final walkthrough the day before we go to closing, and making sure that the lender has everything they need. 24 to 48 hours prior to going to closing, you will have the opportunity to do what is called a final walkthrough. You must do it. It is absolutely critical to make sure that all of the inspection items that you requested and were agreed upon to be completed have been done, and also to make sure that essentially the house is in the same condition as it was the day that you went to contract, or the day that you put the offer in, the last time that you saw it. In the event that there is force majeure, for example, if you're smack in the middle of a contract and your closing date comes up and there's a hurricane looming out in the Gulf of Mexico or on the Atlantic, it is highly likely that you're not going to be able to close, you're not going to be able to move, and there may be 3 or 4 days of limbo. This is usually a force majeure where the contract goes into a holding pattern. You do have to write up extensions and so forth to take the contract through to another date, but this is nothing that is in anybody's control. So everybody agrees to make the changes and to push the date out. This has only ever happened to me in 20 years once, and everybody just like sat back, waited for everything to pass by, and then we came back online and went to closing, etc., and everybody was good. Recap in a quick minute some of the items that we've discussed, and the key points that you really need to know about the purchase as it is agreement are as follows. You should expect to have a response from the seller from your offer within 24 hours. If there is no response within that time frame or at the end of that time frame, then your offer is dead, and either you need to resubmit a better offer or move on to the next property. Once your offer is accepted and the effective date has come about, you have 3 days in which to deliver your escrow to the escrow or title company. You then have 10 to 15 days, depending on what's agreed, to do your due diligence home inspection. If for any reason during this time you wish to cancel, you can do so without recourse and without reason. The next item after your home inspection is appraisal and survey. Then we need to wait for your loan approval, which is around 30 days. And then you go on to closing. Between approval and closing, you do need to have your closing documents reviewed, and you have 3 days in which to do so. And that's it. It's really very simple. There is a lot of things within the body of the contract that if you have any questions about, seek legal counsel. And that's it. Very easy. See you at the closing table, as they say. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your attendance. My name is Anne Richardson, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please go ahead and do so. It's around here somewhere. I always get confused at the end as to whether it's here or here. Who knows? I just know that it's there somewhere because I'm in reverse. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for watching my video, and thank you for checking into my channel. I will see you again next week. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate it. Anne Richardson, the Busy Brit with DHM Real Estate in St. Pete. Thank you.